Very good morning to my dear students. How are you all? Okay, so as we have completed our chapters, so I'm here to discuss the question and answers, your exercise solution of this chapter, chapter number 20. Okay, so next let's proceed. So our first question is in the present day world, the most popular form of government is democracy. Okay, and democracy is a form of government. What type of government is democracy? People govern themselves through elected representatives. Okay, now number third is the story of democracy is as old as the ancient Greece civilization. Okay, so because it came and firstly in the Greek civilization only. Okay, now second question. Fourth is legislature, the law-making body in India has. So how many houses are there in the legislature? There are two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now, the head of the executive of the Union of India is who is the head of the executive? President is the head of the executive. Now, question number third. Here you have to give a reason also if the statement is false. Okay. So the glorious revolution took place in India in 1688. So it's true. Next question is the prime minister is the elected head of the executive. Yes, answer is false. Is the Russian Revolution of 1917 led to the formation of the Soviet Union? So the answer is true. Then fourth, all votes have equal worth and importance in the election of a representative democratic government. It's true. Next question is representative democracy is a form of direct democracy. So answer is false. Representative democracy is a form of indirect democracy. Okay. Now, let's proceed to the answer in one word. So, after independence, which form of government did India choose to have? Democratic government. Okay. Now, second, what do you know by the term democracy? The word democracy came from a Greek word demokratia. Okay, and it is divided into two parts, that is demos and kratos, meaning rule or power. Demo means people, and kratos means rule or power. Then, question number third, which three ideas of the French Revolution inspired democratic ideals all over the world? So, those ideas were liberty, equality, and fraternity. So, question number four, explain the term dictatorship. So, dictatorship is when the power to rule rests with one person. Okay, the ruling power rests with a one person only or a small group of people who has or have absolute power without effective constitutional limitations. Okay, they do not have any constitutional limitations. Now, next question is what is meant by universal adult franchise? So, we have discussed in the class also what is universal adult franchise. It means that all adult citizens, that is, when they become 18 years or more, they have the right to vote in a democratic country. This is called a universal adult franchise. Okay, now let's proceed to the question. Democracy of today different from democracy that was followed in ancient Greece. Okay, so how today's democracy is different from a democracy at that time. So democracy in its ancient form in Greece was called direct democracy. In ancient Greece, it was called direct democracy, whereas all cities, wherein in the direct democracy, all citizens assembled at one place. They assembled at one place to make laws and take decisions. Okay, regarding day-to-day matters of governance. Okay, what to do? They assemble there and they take the decisions. But today, indirect democracy is more commonly practiced. We practice morely indirect democracy. So, in indirect democracy, we elect their representative. We elect our representative. In this, people elect their representative, and that representative who takes decision on their behalf. That representatives take decisions on our behalf. This is also known as representative democracy. Okay. Next question. Which important developments in the medieval period led to the growth of democratic principles? Okay. What type of developments were done in the medieval period? Okay. That led to the Growth of democracy. So first point is several European rulers while making policies, when the European rulers were making policies, they consulted with the church officials and various groups of citizens, which led to the formation of representative bodies of citizens. Okay. Now, with the decline of feudalism in Europe, so in Europe, when feudalism declined, liberalism declined, in 14th century, power shifted from feudal lords of the king and the common people. Next is the rise of nationalism also shifted power. When nationalism was rising, democracy. Okay. Now, third question is how did the Renaissance movement help in the growth of democracy? How the Renaissance helped in the growth of democracy? So, Renaissance helped in the growth of democracy in the following ways. First is the Renaissance humanists revived Greek literature. They revived or renewed the Greek literature and culture, which led to the growth and implementation of the concept of democracy. Yes. And second point is legislative bodies came into being which were composed of representatives. Okay, what were they composed of? Representatives from both aristocratic and non-aristocratic. That is, aristocratic means high class people and middle class people are non-aristocratic. Okay, so the Glorious Revolution of 1688 in England gave a blow to the absolute rule of the British king and made the ruler answerable to the Parliament, the representative body of the English people. Okay. Next is question number 4. What is the role of judiciary in a democracy? So judiciary, it administers justice in accordance with the law. Okay. They give justice according to the law. Then second is it has the power to declare laws. They can declare laws. They can declare laws which is passed by the legislature. They can declare it as illegal. Okay, if such law violate the spirit of the constitution. Now, next is the judiciary is free from the control of the legislature and the executive. They are free from legislature and executives. Okay, now question number 5 is how does democracy safeguard human dignity? Or how democracy safeguards the human dignity? How they prevent status or achievement. Okay, irrespective their status, whatever their status is, whatever their achievement is, they are given equal rights and justice. Okay, now second point is everyone enjoys the fundamental rights. Okay, everyone enjoys the fundamental rights guaranteed by the constitution, and no one is allowed to violate the rights of others. Okay, no one can harm the rights of other people. Okay, the principles and key elements of democracy promote human values. They promote human values and form the basis of a just society. Okay, so let's proceed to the long question and answers. Prepare a timeline for the growth and spread of democracy in the world over the ages. So first it came ancient Greece. Okay, we have studied in the chapter ancient Greece, then medieval period, then it came Renaissance in Europe. Okay, then the American War of Independence. Okay, and then it came the French Revolution, then the First World War, and then it came the Russian Revolution. Then we witnessed the Second World War, and after that, everyone became independent. Okay, so first was ancient Greece. Okay, the earliest democracy began in Athens in the 6th century BCE. Medieval period, with the decline of feudalism in Europe in the 14th century, power shifted from the feudal lords to the king and the common people. Then Renaissance in Europe, in England, the Glorious Revolution of 1688 further strengthened the roots of democracy. The American War of Independence, what happened? The War of Independence ensued. It acted War. It marked the end of British imperialism in America. Okay, next the French Revolution. The French Revolution of 1789 dealt a death blow to the divine rights of the king. They ended the rights of the king and brought in the idea of liberty, equality, and fraternity. In the place of death blow, you can write ended, okay, or end, end, okay. Now, the First World War led to the dissolution of major European imperial powers. Then, Russian Revolution in 1917 made it clear that political equality is incomplete without social and economic equality. In 1939, the world witnessed the Second World War. We witnessed Second World War, and after the Second World War, most of the colonies became independent and they chose to become a democratic country. Okay. Now, our next question is, which are the principles that democracy embodies? That is, the key principles of democracy. So, in a democratic is a form of government. The people have a right to govern themselves directly. Okay, we can govern directly or through elected representatives. The idea of liberty, equality, and fraternity. The fraternity means brotherhood are celebrated and inculcated in a democracy. Citizens elect their representatives on the basis of universal adult franchise. We elect our representatives on the basis of universal adult franchise, and all the adult citizens have the right to vote. Next is equality and justice are ensured to all the citizens of the country. All are given the equal rights and justice. Freedom of speech and public opinion ensures regular practice of these are vital for the success of democracy. Vital means important. So, how social and economic equality is important for the success of democracy. So, why it is important? So, first point is every citizen has the freedom to choose and practice an occupation of his or her choice. Okay, they can choose any occupation which they find it able for them. Any kind of social discrimination, such as untouchability, is considered to be a violation of the Constitution of India. If we practice the untouchability, okay, so it is we are violating the laws in our Constitution, and it is punishable according to the law. Second, next is access to public places such as market, playground, roads, or well is not denied to any person. Any person can go anywhere. Okay, it is also a law. Special policies has been framed to secure better opportunities for the derived section. The sections who are weak, their special policies are formed for them by the government, such as low cost housing schemes for the economically weak sections of the society. Now, question number 4, discuss the key features of Indian democracy. So, features we have discussed in the class also. The first feature is decision making mechanism. Okay, I have made a video for this also. Okay, if you have any problem, you can listen to the video also. So, first point is decision making mechanism. In decision making mechanism, legislature, executive, and judiciary, these organs help in making decisions. Then, second point is equality. Then third is justice, and fourth is human dignity. Okay. Now, question number fifth is given. Discuss some of the policies and programs started by government of India. Minority people or weak sections of the society. First one is reservations for the scheduled caste. Okay, the SC, ST caste and other backward classes in educational institutions and government jobs. Some seats are reserved for them, which will be given to them only. Okay. Second thing is done. Low cost housing schemes are made. Okay, for the economically weak section of the society. And third one is reservation of seat for women in public mode of transport. Okay, in public transport where we go, we can see that there is a reservation of seat for women. Okay, women's seat is different on other side. Okay, then next is reservation of seat for women in village panchayat. In village panchayat also, there are some seats which are reserved for the women only. Then literacy scheme to encourage education. Literacy schemes are also made so that everyone get educated. At least they get the primary education. Okay, the basic education should be given to all. So for that, government has encouraged the education and they have made some literacy schemes. Okay, development schemes for rural areas. For the rural areas or village areas, some development schemes are also made. Then provisions of a midday meal or cooked lunch in all government elementary schools. Okay, midday meal is provisions are also made so that the people, the students or the children who are coming to the government schools, they do not have food to eat, so that they can get this facility of eating food. They can eat good food. Okay, so for this, the midday meal is also provided. Okay, so with this, our question answers chapter is complete. Okay, so start learning your question and answers, and if you have any problem, you can ask me. Okay, and do them in your copy on time. Okay, thank you, class.